I'm Rachael Evren, the 2019 IJM International Teen, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
I want to say hello to Rachael Evren, who is IJM International Teen 2019. Rachael, hello.
Hi, everyone.
Rachael, how are things going up on the sunny Gold Coast?
Oh, things are going pretty well at the moment. So I did land about 2 weeks ago back on the Gold Coast. It's been a whirlwind since so far. There's so much going on and there's still so much to do. So a lot going on, but I love to keep busy.
And you were just in Melbourne, right?
Yeah, so I flew to Melbourne on Tuesday night, and then I just landed today at about 2:30. And now I'm here.
Why were you down in Melbourne?
Okay, so I don't know if anyone knows this yet, but there is a play going on at the moment. It's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and if you have not seen it, go and watch it.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
No, I'm not, but I'm a massive Harry Potter fan, and I love it.
So how many thumbs up do you give it?
Out of 10, I would give it a solid 10. 10 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Harry Potter out of the way. Now, just before we went live, we were talking about, because someone sent in a question saying, how have you sort of survived in pageantry for so long? And I was like, you're 19. How can it be so long? So can you please tell the audience what your pageant history has been, if you can remember that far back?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually started competing at the age of 12, and the first ever pageant I did was on the Gold Coast, and it was a glitz pageant. And a fun little fact as well, the night I was crowned the IJM Teen, it was also the night that I first competed at my first ever pageant, I think 8 years before that. So that was crazy. But I did glitz pageants up until the age of 14, when I then was offered a place at International Junior Miss as a junior teen. And that's when I started at national pageantry. And then I went back to International Junior Miss in 2018. And then I came back again this year.
Okay, so break it down for us. So what got you into pageantry in the first place?
Okay, so this is probably going to be a cliche, but what got me in pageantry in the first place?
You're rolling your eyes a lot at yourself.
It was Toddlers and Tiaras, though. Like, I remember watching that, and I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be like one of those little toddlers that runs around with a crown and tiara. So we started off with glitz pageantry, and it was fun. And then I realized that I could actually make something out of this. So that's when I started transitioning to nationals.
You're a little tall to be a toddler in a tiara.
Look, I tried my best, okay?
How tall are you? We were debating this before. So, and if Gemma, God forbid, ever watches this. So Gemma has told me she's 5'10". You have a point of contention here. So how tall are you?
Yeah. So I'm 179 centimeters, and Gemma's saying that she's 180 centimeters, but I'm taller than Gemma. So that's not right.
There's been more than one of my interviews where I've just been ending up calling out Gemma all the time. Guys, if you're watching, let us know any questions below for Rach. In fact, on that topic, before we get into, so you entered because of toddlers and tiaras, which is interesting. Let's go through some of the questions. So you sent through some of the questions here. So let's go into how can you enter into IJM?
Yep, so if you're from Australia, we're actually taking inquiries at the moment. If you go to the International Junior Miss Australia Facebook page, you'll find some details about that. Just send through your name and contact details, and you'll get an email soon. If you are international, go to one of the state directors. You can actually find that on the IJM website as well.
Cool. Okay, next question. Any advice for girls who want to join IJM but are nervous about going into such a large system?
Look, it is a very large system. There's about 300 girls in the entire pageant. Yeah, there's a lot of girls.
Hang on, what? You haven't added an extra zero there. 300?
Yes, 300 girls in the entire system. So it is quite a large pageant. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I don't even remember there being like 50 girls in a pageant here in Australia, let alone 300.
No, we're lucky if we get 30. So 300 is much bigger. But it's okay. So they're nervous about going to such a large system. Any advice?
I think a lot of people go in there thinking, what am I going to place in such large groups? One thing you really need to go into, and this is any pageant, especially IJM, is that you need to go in there confident in that don't go in there thinking that you're going to win the whole thing, because that is the first bad step to any pageant. You need to go in there and realize that you are going to take the most out of any experience, especially IJM, because there's a lot of opportunities that you can take out of it. Go in there with that mindset, and that is a great place to start.
It's scary how knowledgeable you are at the age of 19. It really is. But then again, you've been doing it for 7 years. So you're like a pageant veteran.
I've been doing this for a while. I'm like, I know what's happening.
You know your stuff. Who was your biggest supporter?
Who was my biggest supporter? I want to say my mum. But to be honest, after I won, I got so many messages. I cannot even begin to realize who was my biggest supporter, but look, I still have to say my mom. I would probably say her, yeah.
Okay, that's the correct answer, just for
reference.
I
was like, just in case she's watching, it's my mom. Love you, mom.
Oh, at some point she's going to be watching this, and if you don't name her, I'm sure she's going to be upset. Okay, top tips for someone hoping to enter IJM for Team Australia.
Team Australia, absolutely. Come and join us. We are always looking for new faces. One thing I really would like to say is that if you were wanting to join Team Australia, make sure you're open to the idea of actually being part of the team. We are very close-knit. We always talk to each other. I actually met my best friend, Raina, through IJM. So you will start becoming closer with your team. So just go in there and make the most out of that team, and you'll be making so many friends.
Okay, all right. So I had this is not a direct question, but on that topic, there's a young girl, Summer Valentine. She's only 13 years old. But she had a very negative experience in a pageant, which I won't name because actually she didn't name it to me. But she had a coach and she had a team, and she was always supportive of them. But then when Summer won, they didn't talk to her, and they actually went apparently to the judges and basically said something must have been wrong if Summer won. Now, I know that she's looking at IJM as a potential future system. So and she's 13, so whatever, whichever division she'd be in. But what advice or what support could you give her about entering IJM?
Yeah, absolutely. So about entering IJM, look, we are not saying that we're very particular with who we take in, but we really like to take in people who are team players, just because you really are put in situations where you all need to stick together. And particularly this year, like we had girls who sometimes don't even come home with anything, girls that win the entire thing, but we're also supportive of each other. And if you've gone through an experience like that, those people aren't your true friends. They don't truly love you, but you also need to realize that there are more people who are there to support you than there are negative people. You really just need to focus on those kinds of people as well.
Yeah. That's really important. I mean, she's left that coach and that team behind, but now she's looking for a new one. And she's sort of asking for guidance.
Come join us. Okay. We're always looking for new people.
One of us. One of us.
Yeah.
One of us. Okay, so going off of that, so another question. What are the age groups?
What are the age groups? Okay, there is a few age groups. There's 7, so let me remember this. There is
7.
Yes, there are 7 age groups. Okay. So, okay, and just a disclaimer first, it also goes off how old you are on the 1st of January. So if you are, the beginning age group is 4 to 6, and that is Junior Princess. So say you are 6 years old on the 1st of January, but then you are 7 at Nationals, you'll still be counted as a Junior Princess.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Junior Princess is 4 to 6. Then you have Princess, which is 7 till 9. Then you have Preteen, which is 10 to 12. Junior Teen, that is 13 to 15. Teen, which is 16 to 18. Miss, which is 19 to 24. And then Mrs., which is 25 plus.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't memorize that.
I could tell you didn't miss a beat. You couldn't say your name in the intro, but you know all the age divisions of IJM. That's like priorities. That's good. Okay. Okay. So what categories do you have to compete in? So I guess what categories are actually compulsory?
Yeah, so you have the compulsory categories that you do compete in are interview, fun fashion, and formal. So they're the 3 main ones. However, you do have optionals that you are able to compete in as well. I know as Team Australia, 2 requirements to compete in for optionals are casual wear and spokesmodel, just because they get you out on the stage earlier, and spokesmodel gives you kind of an idea of what interview will be like as well. So they're 2 categories that you do have to enter through Team Australia.
Okay, cool. And by the way, just going to the comments, Jackie Evren is watching, who I assume is your mum.
Yes, hi, Mum.
So thank God you said she was your biggest supporter, because that would have been super awkward otherwise. Okay, I'm not looking at my phone because I'm unprofessional. I'm looking at my phone because I need to find the questions that were submitted. So, all right. So you said you met Raina through IJM. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so Raina has lovingly sent you a lot of questions. Here we go. Oh, I lost it. All right, here we go. Do you feel pressure representing such a big, world-renowned pageant system?
Absolutely not. I absolutely love this. Like, this is the dream. This is what I've been working so hard to achieve. So I think now that I'm at this level, I feel so ready to take it on. So absolutely not.
Can you give us an insight? Because I saw the video where you had the winning reaction and you looked hugely surprised, and the confetti cannon thing was hilarious. But I mean, like, it looks to me like you didn't expect to win, and when you were called out, that you were like, "Oh my god, like I can't believe it." Can you give us an idea as to exactly how much work you put into this?
So how much work? So I have
not just this one, but like over the 7 years. Like, what's that?
Yeah, over the 7 years. So I have raised probably about over $3,500 worth of charity. I've done probably about over that. I'd probably have done about a week's worth of volunteer work. I have done a lot of work to work up to this. I have tried to put, and that's outside that. That's optional things. The work that I actually have put towards pageantry itself with walking, interview practice, everything like that, cannot even begin to tell you. Like, I can't begin to tell you the late nights, everything that has gone into it. Like, but I don't regret any of it. I've loved everything that I've put towards pageantry. And look, this is my sport. Some people like soccer, some people like netball. I like pageants, and it's everything I've worked for.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about confetti cannons.
Confetti cannons, don't like them. Official fear of confetti cannons. If you have not seen my crowning reaction, it's like 2 confetti cannons at the very end, and I was like so happy, and they've gone off, and I'm just like, what is going on? You
looked really worried. I'm not gonna lie, I've watched that video several times because the reaction is so funny.
There's actually a photo of it though. Like, there's a photo, and both the queens, like my sister queens Alyssa and Leroy, they're both just like, oh my god, and I'm just like, worried, scared, what is happening?
I feel it's like, pick the Australian out of this crowd. Okay, so Raina has also asked, what's the best opportunity you've received so far?
So far, actually, so I have been in the newspaper, and from this, I've had a lot of charities contact me and try to organise meetups, everything like that. I'm really passionate about working with local charities, just because I feel like there's so many of them that don't get enough recognition. Sorry, so that's probably been my biggest opportunity so far. But I know through IJM there's a lot more coming. For example, I get to go to New York Fashion Week. I get international trips. There is so much that goes on with International Junior Miss as an international title queen. So this is just the beginning.
New York Fashion Week.
Oh yeah, Sherry Hill, New York Fashion Week.
Okay, no one's going to be jealous about that at all. Moving on, what do you plan on doing whilst you're a title holder?
A lot. There's a lot that I plan on doing. I plan on making the absolute most of my year, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like I said, I want to work with a lot of charities. I really want to get out of my community. Most thing I really would love to do is start bringing IJM to Australia, getting more girls entering, getting more girls realizing how incredible this system is. So that is probably my main goal for this year.
Are there any plans to make IJM a competition here, or is that not the way they want to go?
Look, it is absolutely a goal. To be honest, I absolutely have no idea what is happening. That's up to the international directors, but it's definitely a goal. It's definitely something that I feel like Team Australia should have.
That'd be a cool thing. We could always do with a new national pageant, especially since we have an international winner in yourself. It sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Okay. Just on the comments, Samantha Raboni has said, come to California. I don't know if you know Samantha.
Oh, Sam. I actually know Sam. I met her through International Junior Miss. She was the Miss this year, Miss Golden State, sorry. She was Miss Golden State in the teen division last year. Hey, Sam. She lives in California.
I want to go to California because Sydney is so cold at the moment.
Oh, Australia is freezing. But that's the other thing I'd love to say. You do make friends all over the world at International Junior Miss. Like, 2 of my sister queens are from South Africa. Like, you will make friends literally everywhere.
That's very cool. Yeah. Your boyfriend has said proud with a heart emoji.
Oh, thanks, Xavier.
That wasn't awkward at all. Okay. All right. We're moving on to the easier questions to answer. This is still Raina, by the way. We're about halfway through Raina's questions. What do you think set you apart from the other contestants in the judges' eyes? That's a tough one to answer.
Yeah, no. So to me, what I actually have no idea, but to me, one thing I find makes me a bit different is my chosen charity. So my charity that I really love to raise money for is the A21 campaign. And this charity actually raises money to rescue men and women in human trafficking. This is a issue that's not brought to the forefront in the media at all. It's happening here in Australia. It happens in pretty much most parts of the world, not just third world countries. So it's definitely a charity that I try to constantly raise money for. And I talked about that a lot in my interview. And I think that really set me apart. I think that kind of gave me a bit of an edge because, again, it's not something that a lot of people talk about.
Right. And what did you say? What's it? A21?
A21, yes.
Right. Okay. So everyone can look that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lorraine Munro has said, love how real you are, Rachel. Okay. Moving through to chapter 4 or 5 billion. Why did you choose to enter IJM over other pageant systems?
All right. So IJM offers packages that no other system in the entire world can offer. For example, I know they were, what were they voted? They were voted the #1 prize package on Pageant Planet out of every international pageant. They offer so much to their girls, and not only the international queens, but their national queens as well. One thing I really loved doing through my IJM Australia title actually was that we got to go to Universal Studios during the week of pageants, and that was so much fun. And I don't know a lot of pageants that can do that. This pageant system is absolutely incredible, and I can not recommend it enough to every pageant girl here in Australia.
You almost started hyperventilating when you mentioned Universal.
Oh my God, I love Universal. Literally my favorite place on earth. I don't want Disney. I want Universal. Universal is the happiest place on earth.
Shots fired. No Disney, just Universal. Okay, so moving on from Raina's interrogation. So Sienna's question, Sienna Eleanor, what is your favorite memory from competing in IJM?
Competing in IJM, that, again, Universal. I cannot recommend. I love Universal.
Why do you love Universal so much? Is it a particular movie franchise or something?
Harry Potter. It has Harry Potter World.
Okay.
Yeah, but not even that. You get to go to, yes, you get to go to a theme park, but you get to go to the theme park with all the 300 other girls. You make so many friends.
You all went.
Yeah, everyone in the entire pageant goes, and you get discounts, you get food, you get everything. Okay. And you also, during the week, there's a lot going on. You get PJ parties, even rehearsals. There's so many times where you get to know people and it's such a fun time. It really is. It's the best experience you'll ever go through.
How do they look after 300 of you? That just gives me nightmares.
Oh, it's a struggle. I'm assuming it's a struggle, but I mean...
Jeez. Okay, so final question so far. And again, this is from Sienna. Did you ever lose, I told you about this one, did you ever lose hope after competing for so long? What kept you going?
Oh, yeah. So I cannot tell you the amount of times that I probably had cried and said, no, that's the end of my pageant career. I'm not doing any more. What really kept me going is that drive, that ambition to really strive for that title. I've never won an international title. I've won national titles. I've made top 5, but I've never won an international title. And I said to myself, this is what I want. This is what all the hard work is going towards. And this is what I love doing. This is truly what I love doing. And I'm not going to let anyone tell me differently. I don't care how many years it takes. I'm going to get what I want. And I did. And look, it does take a while. Some people it takes a year. Some people it takes 3 months. Some people it takes 6 years. It really just depends how willing you are to go, how far you're willing to go, and the ambition you have to achieve what you really want to do.
That's well said. Guys, if you have any other questions for Rachel, leave them below, because that's the end of all the questions from Instagram and the ones that were sent before. So let me ask you this. So you mentioned that there have been multiple times when you felt like it's a bit too much. So what's been the hardest moment for you in pageantry?
The hardest moment for me? I would probably have to say... Actually, yeah, I'll probably have to say this. So the first few years that I was competing in this national style of pageantry, and that was in a few systems, I did not even make top 15. And that was again and again and again. I just felt very disheartened by it all. I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing? And that's when I realized the trick of it all. So I was going into interview with these answers prepared for each question, and they weren't answers that I was passionate about. They weren't answers that I actually genuinely wanted to say, but this is what I had heard would win. It wasn't until I realized that I really just needed to start being myself. I needed to talk about things that I was genuinely passionate about, and that's when the game started to change. That's when I started making top 5, and that's when I realized, you know what, I can do this on my own terms. I can do this by being myself, and that is really what put my best foot forward at the end of the day.
So when you say you started being yourself, and a lot of people have said that, and obviously it's hugely important.
Oh yeah.
What's unique about you? I mean, that you weren't showing before? Was it a sense of humor that you weren't showing? Was it like, what was it?
No, you absolutely said it. It was the sense of humor. Like I probably don't seem that. I don't seem that funny right now, but I can be. For example, I remember last year at internationals. Actually, I was asked, "So, what's something you've learned about yourself today in interview?" And like, obviously, there's a cookie cutter pageant answer you could give to that. But what I said is, when I get nervous, I get hungry, so I can't wait to go eat at IHOP. Because that was genuine. Like, I was hungry and I was nervous, and that was something I figured out about myself. Like, I love talking about food. I love food, and so I talk about it. And although it might seem absolutely ridiculous, but it's genuinely coming from the heart. So what I mean by be your absolute self is literally be your absolute self, no matter how weird or stupid or crazy you sound. Like, go into that interview and be like, I'm going to be my crazy, weird, stupid self, because that is what's going to put you aside from the other girls.
What is your favorite food?
Oh, sushi. Hands down, sushi.
Okay, we're getting to the real hard-hitting questions now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
the serious stuff.
Samantha has said, "Oh my goodness, what? I love you." I don't know what the what is about, but it's not what with a question mark. It's what with an exclamation mark. So
yeah, it's like, what? I love you. Like, you know, what?
Okay. Adam Gripchich has asked, is it true Rachel's brother is a professional video game streamer?
We were talking about this before, Adam. No, he's not a professional yet. I think he's striving for it. I'm currently using his old setup right now. So if I seem like in really good quality, it's because I'm using his Twitch streaming setup. I asked him for it. I was like, I need an interview. I need to borrow your setup for me.
This is the clearest quality like interview I've ever done. I actually think your camera is better than mine. So well done with that. Okay, so I know this is going to make you think like further down the track, but you've got the international title now. So whenever you decide to hang up your heels, so to speak, how would you like to be remembered? Like, what would you like your legacy to be?
That's such a good question. I've not even thought about that. I just want to be remembered as, to be absolutely honest, being absolutely genuinely me. I might not be the best. I might not be perfect. I might not be what everyone thinks a queen should be. But I really just want to be remembered for doing things that I love doing, making an impact on the Australian community, and really bringing pageantry to the forefront of Australia, making more girls, just not even pageant girls, like girls around, seeing that this is definitely something they should be taking part in, because it builds confidence, it builds friendship. Like, I know we all say it, but there are so many opportunities that can come out of pageantry. You really just have to strive for it.
How do you think we can get actually more girls, I guess, bring pageantry more mainstream? Because this is a question that I've been throwing around with a lot of my friends, and in a lot of the systems, the participation numbers have been going down, which to me is sad, because pageantry is about women's empowerment, so it should be super relevant. So how do you think we can make pageantry more mainstream?
That's, again, a very good question, but I definitely think it needs, with the amount of negative imagery that has been put on pageantry in the past, I think in Australia it's definitely still at that stage. I think people look at the makeup, at the hair, and go, no, thank you. I think it needs to be brought to the forefront that girls who compete in pageants, they're more than just what they look like. They're more than what everyone thinks they look like. They do so much in their community, and these are great things that, again, they're good to put in your resume. Interview is great for job interviews. Like, I probably would not have been able to sit here and give a proper interview if it wasn't for pageants. Like, honestly, there are so many things that, again, that you can take out of pageantry. And I really think we need to start promoting those more than the big glitz, the big glamour. And again, the prize package. I think a lot of people need to know that there are great prize packages that can come out of pageantry, like international trips that can come out of modeling gigs. Like, there's a lot that can come out of them. And then you have the charity component on top of that.
Yeah. Let me just check. You just when you said that about pageantry, you got a lot of likes. So obviously people are relating with that. Can you tell us what? I mean, you obviously spent a lot of time in America competing for this. Can you give us an insight as to what you think the differences are between pageantry over there and pageantry over here? Because I mean, you've already alluded to there's sort of a difference in how people view it, but also in how they seem to take it really. I don't know if seriously is the right word. But it's very respectable and it's like a profession over there. So what are the differences?
It is. That's pretty much what it is. Like if you hold a title of any sort, it is taken as a job over there. Like there are so many things, like you put it on your resume and people go, oh, she was a pageant queen. Like we want her with us. People, especially dress shops, outfit shops, everything like that. They want to take on beauty queens because they're great for promoting their brands. Like girls, like we know how to use social media. We know how to walk. And the best part is we know how to talk to people properly. And that is why we're the best promoters, ambassadors for people with brands. And I think America's definitely picked up on that.
Yeah.
I think America has that definitely down pat where they take on these girls and give them a platform, and that just keeps on building up. So I think America really has set that bar, and Australia just needs to follow in it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, and I get that you're humble, so so it might be difficult for you to answer, but I mean, you went to America and beat the Americans in a way at their own game. How did you manage to do that? Because I know some of the preparation they put in, the coaching they put in. I mean, you've already alluded to how much time you spent working on everything, but how did you manage to pull this off?
Honestly, okay, this is going to sound ridiculous. I went onto YouTube and I Googled everything related to pageantry, like from all the American girls. Like you really do need to take that advice from the American girls. But in saying that, there's a lot of things that us Aussies can bring to the table. Right. For example, what we are known for is our humor. That is something that we can really bring to an interview because you get nervous. And when girls get nervous, they don't want to make jokes. They just want to be their calm, genuine selves. But us Aussies, we get loud when we're nervous. We start making bad jokes and people find us funny. Like there are so many things that Aussies can bring and you really just need to mix the two together.
What's the worst joke you've ever told?
We're not bringing that up. No.
That bad, huh?
No.
Can you tell us a joke right now?
Oh, do I have to?
If you
I only know. Okay, I actually have prepared for this question, but it's not a good joke. It's genuinely not a good joke.
Okay, go for it.
No one's gonna laugh. Okay, fine. Is your refrigerator running? Well, you better go catch it.
What?
Is your refrigerator running? Well, you better go catch it.
Oh. Jeez. Okay, we're putting Aussie humour on the map. That's
don't make that joke. Like find other jokes. That's not a good one to make. I told you it wasn't a good joke.
That's fair. Yeah, fair point. Okay, so Terry Dillo has said, hi, Rachel, and Lorraine Munro has said, great question, Adrian. I'm not sure which question that was, but thank you, Lorraine. Okay, so you have just won. You said it was about 2 weeks ago when you were crowned, right?
Yes, about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so roughly 50 weeks to go. What are, I mean, you spoke about charity, you want to promote a lot of charities, but what are the sort of the other things over the next 50 weeks that you are planning or looking forward to?
Looking forward to. There is honestly so much. Like International Genius, the international head office, they offer so much to their queens. One thing I'm particularly looking forward to is, of course, going to Sherry Hill at New York Fashion Week, watching her whole new collection, all the couture stuff. So excited.
That's hard work, right? Gee, someone's got to do it.
I volunteer. But I mean, I'm so excited. But one thing I'm really excited about, I have just been crowned with 5 other incredible girls. And I got to know a bit of them throughout the entire week. But I've watched previous girls who won, and they become so close. And I'm just ready to bring on more friends. Like I love making new friends, having new people in my life. And I'm really excited for that too. I'm really excited to spend international trips, traveling the world with a bunch of incredible girls.
I was actually going to ask you about your team. So can you tell us a bit about your team?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I've only spent about a day with them so far, so I don't know all of them too well. I know Alyssa because she's almost about to become a rocket, like incredible. Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, I'm funny. And then my junior teen, Larua, she is the sweetest, most humble girl you'll ever meet. She is so genuine, and like she is so gorgeous. Like you look at her and you're like, are you
real?
Beyonce or something? Like she is crazy beautiful. And then I have my little preteen. She's also from South Africa. She is the fiercest person you'll ever meet in your entire life. Like I think she's a great example for 13-year-olds and younger, just because she exudes so much self-confidence, so much love, and just I think a lot of young girls, particularly her age, need to understand that you need to be more confident in themselves, and she just embodies all of that. And then I have my little princess Ava, and she's actually from Australia as well. She is the funniest person you'll ever meet. When we both won that night, we went out for dinner with our whole team Australia, and I was eating my dinner, and I was eating salmon, and she literally picks up my salmon and just starts eating it. I was like, thanks, Ava. Like, you could have asked.
That sounds really dangerous, to pick up a pageant queen's food and start eating it. I don't think I'd be brave enough to do that.
Look, it's lucky, I love her, but I was like, honey, you can just ask next time. Like, I'll give you a bit to eat. And then I have my little junior princess, Brooklyn, and she is so cute. She's so confident. She just go up and talk to anyone. I was like, I wish I was that confident at the age of 6.
So if I was to ask your team, and they were to say, I'd say one word to describe Rachael Evren, what do you think they would say?
Tall. I have no idea.
Are you the tallest on the team?
Look at me. No, Alyssa is actually. She's the tallest. I'm the second tallest.
That's got to be a slightly unusual feeling for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like, what? Because I was taller than Raina, and Raina was my miss. And I'm usually the tallest in my whole team. So to have someone taller than me, I'm like, this is great. Like, this is perfect. Well,
how quickly did you grow tall? Were you like kind of this, because you're what, like 180 something. So were you this tall during high school?
Yeah, pretty much. I was pretty much the tallest I was the tallest person in my grade in year 7. And then obviously the boys started to hit puberty and grow up. And then by year 12, I was still the tallest girl, but I was probably the 7th tallest in my whole grade. Like, I was still pretty tall.
Yeah. Was that ever an issue for you? Because a lot of the time girls who are super tall, they felt awkward. It was difficult for them growing up. Did that ever affect you growing up?
Yes and no. Like, it was great because, to be honest, I got a lot of modeling opportunities out of it. Like, I was like, well, that's good in that sense. But it was pretty hard because I would go to the shops with my friends and they would all be like the same height, and I'd be that awkward person, and like I can't wear heels around my friends, and like it's hard in that sense. But I mean, you'll get used to it.
Okay, so just before we, I'm going to get you to give your social details, and we'll go to the final 10 questions. But before we do that, let me ask you. So I asked you what was the hardest moment in pageantry. So I think, to be fair, what's been your favorite moment so far? I mean, outside of winning IJM, because obviously that look on your face, you enjoyed that moment. But outside of that, what has been your favorite moment or memory from pageantry?
My favorite moment or memory, to be absolutely honest, this goes with every single pageant. You get to, obviously when you're competing, you all stay at the same hotel, and then you become really close with a certain girl probably on your team. Even when I was competing here in Australia, I came close with my state team. So you have like massive sleepovers pretty much like every night, and you just discuss things, you talk about pageants, you talk about your lives, like you get really close during that. And I think like it's just like a massive sleepover, and I actually didn't do a lot of that when I was in high school because I was too busy competing in pageants. So because of pageantry, I was kind of still given that opportunity to meet new girls, to make new friends, and do that in like a really fun environment.
Yeah. Okay, so what are your plans for the future outside of pageantry? Outside of pageantry,
wow, there's a lot. I know through International GMS, I do get offered a contract with MGM, which is a modeling company. So I definitely would love to pick up modeling again. Definitely would love to start becoming an ambassador for a lot of brands, but definitely start going towards that area. It's something that I did when I was younger. I kind of gave it up for a bit. And one thing I do also really would love to do is start my business up again. I think that's something that I definitely have a passion for, and it's definitely something I would love to continue in the future.
Why did you decide to start a business? Because out of everything that we've talked about, like an 18 or 19-year-old starting a business, that takes a lot of courage because it's not easy. So did you just decide, well, I'll give it a go, or was there some other reason that you decided to give it a go?
No, so being a business owner has actually always been a dream of mine since about the age of 15. Like, I have not pictured myself doing anything else, and I particularly loved fashion quite a fair bit. So it's definitely a field that I wanted to go into. And my whole mentality on it was that I was still living at home. I didn't have a lot of bills to pay for. Like, I would rather start it up now, and exactly when I have the savings, when I have all of that, and I don't have to pay for all this external things, and do it while I'm younger. Because I was like, the worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't go successful. It doesn't go major. And I was like, if that's the worst thing that happens, then I'm going to go for it. Like, I was more scared that I wasn't going to do what I wanted to do than failing, to be honest.
Okay, well, that's a really good attitude to have. And I think a lot of pageant, I don't know if you noticed this, maybe you can comment on it, but a lot of pageant girls seem to be quite entrepreneurial. Like, they either want to start their own business or start like their own charity. Have you noticed that sort of?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's fantastic. I think pageantry really definitely gives you the confidence to do something like that. Like, you get so much out of it. Like, you feel after pageant week, you're like, I can conquer the world. Like, honestly, there's so much that pageantry can give you in that sense. And I think that's why a lot of pageant girls start up their businesses, charities, everything like that, just because the pageantry has given them that self-confidence to make them believe that they can do that.
Absolutely. Now, you just mentioned that after winning, obviously you feel fearless. So I just have a weird question popping in my head. Do you have any phobias?
Yes, actually. I have a fear of balloons. Like, terrified. And it's actually, this is what I think the cannons were about. So I was going to say balloons popping, because I hate the sound of them popping. And I feel like that's why I was scared of the cannons when they went off, because I was just, no.
Can you remember where that came from? That's very unusual, having a balloon phobia.
I'm trying to think. It was always just when I was younger. Like, I remember when I was like 6, there was always that game at parties where you sat on the balloon and there was something inside of the balloon. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, that's not happening. Not contributing.
That is one of the weirdest phobias I've ever heard. Before we get to the final 10 questions, let me ask you a deeper question. So what do you think the biggest challenge facing young Australian women today is?
Young Australian women, where do I start? There are so many things I think a lot of girls go through. Actually, I'm going to talk about this, particularly in Australia. One thing I have realized is that we are very focused on being the skinniest girls possible. I think a lot of people focus on body image, but it wasn't until I went over to the United States, because I thought I was like a bit bigger for an Australian girl, even though like I'm a normal size 8, everything like that. I just thought, I was like, I'm obviously just a bit bigger built. That's fine. Then I went over to America, and I was like small over there. Like, the girls are just so normal and natural and everything like that. Not that they aren't here in Australia, but I feel like a lot of girls here in Australia want to be those tiny toned blondes. And to be honest, like, I believe that every girl should be confident in themselves, obviously, like everyone else does, but we really need to start focusing that you don't have to be the smallest, you don't have to be the skinniest, you don't have to have the smallest waist or anything like that to be beautiful. Like, there are so many things that make you beautiful on the inside, and your body is not one of them. Yeah,
that's really well said. If you had a chance to go back, let's say, to your 13-year-old self and give her any advice, given everything you've learned over your pageantry journey, what would it be?
Believe in yourself. I lacked all of that back in the day, back when I was 12. I had no faith that I would do anything to achieve anything, because everyone was either sporty, they were smart. I had no talents. I was tall, and that was my gift. And that
I never heard tall described as like a talent before.
Yeah, I was like, that's me. Like, I'm the tall person, like, oh well. But through pageantry, I really started discovering myself. I really started believing that I could actually make something out of myself. And that's when I started getting involved in makeup, and I realized I was actually really good at makeup. Tall is actually a good thing to be, because that's when I started getting involved in modeling as well. And so I really have just been able to believe in myself. And I wish I could just tell my 12-year-old self that, yes, everything is possible if you just believe in yourself.
Where do you think you're going to be in 10 years' time?
I don't even know where I'm going to be next week.
I was going to say.
I was like, I have no idea. Probably the one thing in 10 years' time, one thing I really would love to be is just genuinely happy where I am at that stage. Like obviously I want a business, everything like that. But if all else fails, I just really want to be happy with where I'm at, who I am, and confident that there's always a brighter future coming along.
That sounds like a good 10-year plan to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, I'm about to get Rachael to give her social details, although underneath her picture you can see at Rachael_Evren and at IJM International Team. So those are the Instagram handles. But I was going to say, if you have any other questions, make sure you put them below, because I'm going to otherwise get Rachael to answer our final 10 questions and then let her get back to her busy life. Okay. So any questions, leave them below. Otherwise, Rach, so we've got the Instagram handles. Are those the best ones to follow you on? And what about Facebook as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So those are the best Instagram handles to follow me on. However, if you want to follow me on Facebook as well, there is a Facebook page called IJM International Team, and you'll keep updated with all my appearances, everything that's happening during the year as well.
Okay, so hang on. No, it's me.
Are you back?
Okay, so I'm just going to say, given all the technical issues I've had, if anyone wants to sponsor me with a new computer, please let me know, because this computer has turned itself off once tonight for no reason, and it keeps hanging up twice. Okay, so that aside, final 10 questions. Number 1, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word? What a random question.
You should see the next ones.
Oh, please don't. Oh, I was not ready for this. I don't know. What do I say a lot? Okay, my favorite word, I say this a lot. I'm just saying it because I do say it a lot. I say the word excited a lot.
That sounds about right. Now, I will tell you, because why am I so blurry all of a sudden? Hello. Okay. I will tell you these questions kind of come in pairs. So question 1 was your most favorite word. So question 2 is going to be, what is your least favorite word?
My least? Oh, I had this the other day. I forgot what it was. You
can't hate it that much if you've forgotten it.
I know. I don't.
Just tell me it's not moist.
No, it's not that. It was something completely random.
Okay.
It's a word that I don't even think I can pronounce it, to be honest, and that's probably why I hate it so much. Oh, yes, it's feminine. Feminine.
Rachael has suddenly developed a speech impediment. Feminine, as in looking like a girl.
Feminine.
You sound like you're saying Eminem, but with an F. Feminine.
Hopefully my mom's still not watching this. I'm sorry, Mom.
Feminine. Okay, I 100% did not expect that word. Okay, so question 3. In life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
Food. Food. Seriously, just food. And Harry Potter. Food and Harry Potter.
That's a good question. Do you actually cook?
Yeah, I love cooking. My parents are European, so big cook.
Where actually are they from? Because Evren's a bit of an unusual name.
Yeah, this is actually a fun fact. So Evren is Turkish because my dad is Turkish, and Evren in English actually means universe. So technically, I'm already Miss Universe.
Maybe that's important for what's coming in the future.
Yeah. Well, like if all else fails, I still have the last name. So.
Okay. So question 4 then is, what turns you off?
Oh, this is such a hard question. Oh, okay. This is something I really hate. It's a pet peeve. It's when people post like photos on Instagram and then they go to their story and say new post. Like that just gets on my nerves. I just can't stand it.
So have you ever done that?
No, I think I did it once when it was something like really, really exciting. But even then, like that was once.
It's funny that you say that, because the thing that really it's not new post that annoys me. It's when they put recent. I hate that when they just put the post and they go recent. Like, what does that even mean, recent? Anyway.
Like recent what?
Yeah, okay. And getting sidetracked. Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, okay. I'm obsessed with slime videos.
Oh, like, no. Don't. Oh, no.
Yes, we're talking about it. I love slime videos and like the carving of soap. Like, I'm just obsessed with it.
Why? What's wrong with you?
I think it's so satisfying. Like just people like playing with slime, and you can get like the slime that's like crunchy on top, and then like you poke your fingers in it. Like it's just satisfying.
Okay, so for those of you watching, if you happen to own a slime factory and you're looking for a brand ambassador, I believe you know who to contact. You know, if you told me this 2 years ago when I was still working as a tennis coach, I used to get the slime in wholesale. I could have just sent you buckets of it. You could have slept in a whole vat of slime. Moving on to less disturbing topics. Question 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
This is probably what everyone says as well. Nails on a chalkboard. Hate it. The worst sound.
It is what everyone says. People also say the china, like the cutlery scratching on china, which is a very similar.
Oh, yeah.
Although I think I would take that over the sound of slime. Just putting it out there.
Slime is satisfying. Okay.
Why?
Okay.
What? I'm really confused about this because I've actually asked people on interviews before and they don't get it either. So what is it? Why is it satisfying?
It's just so satisfying because I'm like, I want to just like it's just, I don't know, okay? Like, it's just soothing. I'm just sitting, like, I can literally sit there for half an hour just watching slime videos, and it's a waste of time, but I'm just like, this is good. This is what I needed.
I'm definitely going to look for a slime company and see if we can hook you up as a brand ambassador because I just think
please,
you would be perfect as a brand ambassador for slime.
Okay, that's where I see myself in 10 years, as a slime brand ambassador. There you go.
God. Not New York Fashion Week, not miss anything else. Slime ambassador. Okay. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
I would want to be invisible, just because I think it'd be so cool just to listen to other people's conversation. It's probably like really bad, but I think it'd be really fun as well. And I can sneak into movie theaters.
Whenever anyone answers invisibility, I'm a bit worried. Like one of them said, I could go in and steal stuff. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I feel bad doing that. Like really bad doing that, to be honest. I just want to go watch free movies. Okay.
All right. Question 8. What job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt?
Most like to attempt. Oh.
So you know what's coming next.
Oh. Okay. Let me think. One thing I really would love to attempt is actually being a pilot. I think that would be really cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the next question. What's a job or occupation other than your own that you definitely would not like to attempt?
The people that clean out the toilets on flights definitely would not like to do that.
Oh, you're more specific. Gemma actually said janitor, so you're even more specific. You don't want to be a plain janitor.
Yeah. Yes, pretty much.
Any particular reason other than the bleeding obvious?
No, I think that's about it.
You kind of like playing with slime, though. Cleaning out the toilet would have some similarities to that, wouldn't it?
Oh, no.
I mean, if you found it satisfying, I don't. Strange farting sounds.
No,
I mean,
I think there's a bit of a difference, but I'll definitely take it into consideration. Yeah,
I'm sure you will. Okay, final question: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well done. I guess that's probably the only thing I would want to hear. Like, I think I really just wanted to live my life to the absolute fullest, and that's probably the absolute plan.
Well, it certainly sounds like you are. So,
oh.
All right. So there's no more questions. Before we wrap up, is there anyone that you would like to give a thanks to or just a general shout out to? Friends, family, others?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to the international directors, which are Nikki and Jess. They are absolutely incredible. And if you don't know them, they do a lot for all their IJM girls. And I can tell you right now, they'll probably know every single girl who's competed, the name of them, where they came from, everything. They're impressive like that. Yeah. I also would just love to thank Raina for all the questions. I love you lots, and I'll see you at your birthday. And thank you, Mum, for watching. I didn't think you were going to watch, but thank you for watching.
Why didn't you think she was going to watch?
She's busy. She has a lot going on at the moment. And so the fact that she's taking time out of her day to watch me, I just really appreciate it.
Okay, that's fair. All right, well, Rach, I'm just going to, when I say goodbye to everyone, don't hang up. I'll just keep you for a little bit longer, but I am going to thank everyone who watched, sent questions, or laughed at the slime part, and we will speak to you next time. Hey, it's Adrian. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to keep up to date with our interviews, then make sure to subscribe by clicking here. If you'd like to watch some of our interviews right now, then click here, and also make sure to follow us on all our socials right here. Speak to you next time.